An independent journalist and political analyst, Paul Dobson, who joins us from Merida in Venezuela. Thank you for joining us, Paul. We're just talking about the motivation with Andy there. What exactly is the real motivation? Is it the oil? Is it drug trafficking? Is it a regime change?
Well, if we look at what Trump is saying, he is switching back and forth between two very different and in some cases contradictory discourses. He initiated some months ago, talking about drug trafficking. He then brought in the elements of human trafficking. No evidence was provided. And in fact, this seemed to contradict even US authorities, the DEA report on showing that only 5% of Colombian cocaine flowing through Venezuela to the United States. So this seemed a bit confusing. Then only last week, he brought in the argument, according to him, that the United States was a victim here. In fact, they were trying to recuperate stolen assets and land. He didn't elaborate. We're not quite sure what he means there. And today he's going back to the drug trafficking discourse. So it's very confusing, essentially, when we look at what he is saying. My best bet would be, if we look at the actions, they are focused on seizing oil. And this shows that the US is, given all of the geopolitical pressures going on at the moment, trying to solve a problem in terms of oil supply and trying to open up the Venezuelan market to its firms.
Right, and we have to talk about the people because it's common knowledge that, Venezuela's economy is largely dependent on the oil. So what has been the impact on the people, on the economy thus far?
Well, due to the recent blockade, the impact is yet to be seen. However, Venezuela has been under US sanctions, unilateral sanctions, for 6-7 years now, strong sanctions. And the impact at the beginning was severe. UN reports have shown the severe impact on the healthcare sector, on education, on the everyday people in the streets. However, under the recent Nicolas Maduro government, we've seen a rollback in the application of some of these sanctions. They haven't been reversed, but they have yet to be applied in many areas. And in fact, trade with the United States is increasing at the moment. If we look at the agricultural sector, for example, since 2020, trade is up 200% between Venezuela and the United States. When we look at oil, Chevron currently accounts for 25% of all of Venezuela's oil exports. So this shows that the sanctions aren't really being applied as they could be applied. And the impact on the everyday people in Venezuela is a lot less than it would have been 5 years ago. I think these measures by the Trump administration really look to hit the government circle more than the average Venezuelan people.
Right, and I know you earlier said it's about the oil, and here's what Trump just said. He's keeping the oil, might sell it, might use it on the strategic reserves. So is this a way, and we have to acknowledge that the United States is further pursuing the third ship or the third vessel. So is this a way of further intensifying the pressure on Maduro's government?
Without a doubt. These are very clearly illegal actions. This is theft. This is piracy. There's no other word for it, which attacks and weakens Venezuelan sovereignty and Venezuelan self-determination. The Venezuelan government has appealed to multilateral instances like the United Nations, but history shows that when the United States wants to stress its muscles, then it does so. It did so in Iraq, and the United Nations was unable to withhold it. It did so in Afghanistan and many other examples as well. So I think there's very little the Venezuelan government can do in these instances to loosen the hold that is being put on it, because this is something that's really going to hit the Venezuelan coffers, the Venezuelan economy extremely hard.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Paul Dobson, there for your insight.